Hey, what's up, YouTube? And thanks for joining me for another video. So if you've been following the build series that I've been posting up, you'll notice that the videos kind of just ended abruptly. Um, After that last video where we were installing spark plugs and kind of making some progress, I ended up having to put the GoPro down and just push forward and get the project done so I could make my dyno date over in Spokane. Um, Recording everything was just taking way too long and slowing me down. And I wanted to get this project done before winter hit. And winter is here, but I was able to make it over and get the car dynoed and get a little bit of seat time in before winter set in. So I'm very happy with the results. But let's go over what the setup is. Maybe you're a new viewer and you're just checking out a channel for the first time, and let's talk about what we have here and what the setup is. So this is a JDM K24 purchased from HMO. It is a internally stock K24 minus the 50-degree VTC and the 4-piston Type S ported oil pump. Other than that, it's all stock internals. It does have the Skunk 2 Pro Series intake manifold. We're running a 74 millimeter Bosch drive-by-wire throttle body and the hybrid 3-inch cold air intake. For the exhaust, it's a Skunk 2 alpha header that exits out of a full 3-inch exhaust from Thermal Research and Development. For the fuel system, it's an AEM 340 intake fuel pump that comes up to the stock OEM fuel filter, and then there are some custom made lines to route through a flex fuel sensor down there around to the hybrid racing fuel system, or the fuel rail, ID 1050 injectors, and then the hybrid racing fuel regulator and return line. It's running a CSF K-swapped V2 radiator. It has dash 16 upper and lower coolant lines. It also has a external oil pressure sensor by Rife, as well as a Rywire Haltech plug and play harness. It's running a Haltech Elite 1500 as well. Hotsport mounts, some K-tune components here. Other than that, this is a pretty basic setup. It made 220 on E85 with 191 foot-pounds, and it made 215 and I think 185 on pump gas. There were a lot of gains that were made in the mid-range for horsepower and torque once we bumped it onto the E85, which was a huge step up from what it was on pump gas, anywhere from 15 to 18 horsepower and foot-pounds. So I will continue to run that in the summer. I do have a few things I need to work out, though, over the winter. I just flushed the E85 out and got it back on pump gas, so this can sit and not rot out or damage any of the fuel components. We did run into an issue with the belt. It was chewing a belt, eating a belt on the dyno. If you look at this one, this was the original belt that I put on. It's a Gates Micro V, and this is not the same size as this one. We thought maybe it was just a bad belt that was delaminating, or a faulty belt. You can see some of the shrapnel here. On the dyno, it was just slowly eating the belt, so we had to end up cutting it down to a fiber belt to finish a dyno tune, and we thought maybe it was just a belt issue. But once I got back home, I swapped the belt out for another new one, and the same thing is starting to happen. We did notice that the alternator was dropping down, or the voltage was dropping down to the low 13s during the pulls. So I'm concerned that this alternator is faulty. It is just a Napa brand replacement. And after inspecting all of these components here, the alternator has a ton of residue of belt, rubber, and whatnot on it. You can also see some of that has slung in this area here and up on to the hood. So I'm going to replace this first, because I think this is our culprit here. The K24 pulley does not have any issues with it. It's brand new. The water pump is an OEM brand new one. The crank pulley is an OEM crank pulley. So I think the issue is within the alternator. So I will have to remove that and get that out of here. The problem with that is that I will have to either remove the intake manifold or the radiator in order to do that. There's just no way to get this alternator out without removing either of these two. So something I'm going to have to work on over the winter. It's not a big deal because this intake manifold will have to come off anyways. I have been chasing kind of a small coolant leak since I've installed this. Originally, I used the OEM metal gasket here, and I was getting a little bit of a coolant leak or seepage up on the top. Before dynoing the car, I replaced it with the Skunk 2 composite one, and no longer do we have any coolant seeping from here, but it is coming down from the bottom somewhere, and it's not a lot, but it is there. So couple things, maybe the face of this manifold is not flat or completely flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this out to a machine shop and have them just cut the face again and make sure it is flat, and then install a new gasket and see. So this does have to come off anyway, so that's going to be a winter project as well. I do have another fan that I'm going to be reinstalling. This is the one that comes with the CSF kit. I believe it flows around 900 CSM or CFM. And the new one that I have here, this one's closer to 1400. So direct replacement, it will fit, but will allow it to flow more air. Now this radiator does cool very well. I was driving before, right after the dyno over here in Montana, and it was in the 40s, and it was cooling so well that I had to put some cardboard in front to keep it above 170. It wanted to cool much faster than that. So this is going to do great in the summer, no problem. On these shoulder seasons where I get temps in the 40s or 50s maybe, I will have to play with a little bit of cardboard to keep the engine temps up. I do have a thermostat in there at 180, but I did notice that those temperatures were dropping in the cooler weather. So overall, this thing made great power. I will try to put a video of the dyno and a photo of the dyno graph as well in this video. As far as the transmission, it is an RSX base 5-speed, but it does have a 4.76 final drive in it, along with an M factory limited slip, drive shaft shop axles, just all the right parts to make this reliable and drivable. So now we're at the point in this, I guess, build for me where I now need to just kind of finesse a few little things to get it ready to go. I'm way ahead now than I would have been last year. Coming into spring, I should be able to have these issues resolved so I can enjoy this car from the get-go. Like I said, it is on jack stands, but that's fine. We just have some more work to do, some things that we can situate and get sorted out. I will have to also get the interior panels back in. So I'm currently working on that. That's why the shifter is removed. Getting these panels under the dash reinstalled and working around the shifter cables is a little tricky, but I have a plan for that. So have some work to do over the winter, but needless to say, I am super excited about where we are at in this build. I'm going to try to vlog the progress that I'm making. I have some plans. I want to get some race seats. I want to do some other things as well. So stay tuned. And if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. This has been a huge, huge, huge project for me. And I'm just very proud of the result that has come with all the hard work. So I thank you for watching. Enjoy the day and keep an eye out for the next video.